Sucker blue. I want to overact. What was that? This is going to be a good year. Not too shabby. The best game ever.
Hello and welcome to Hawks Recap. Game 78 has just concluded for the Hawks as they tie and then lose to the Los Angeles Kings in Los Angeles by a score of 3-2. So this loss in overtime brings the tragic number for the Hawks down to a whopping 3, which means the next time the Hawks play on Monday against the Jets, there will be elimination scenarios. So the Hawks' fate will not only be up to that game, the Hawks versus Jets, but also the Blues versus Avalanche game. Basically, the Blues have already clinched their spot in the playoffs, so they could lose that game and still eliminate the Hawks. That's just not fun in my eyes. But that's in the future, so let's just push that aside for now. Let's talk about tonight's game. So yeah, I thought this game was pretty even for the most part. Hawks, Kings, bottom tier teams in the Western Conference going at it, and it's kind of what you expect. Although you'd think maybe the Hawks should be able to, get 2 points against a 30th ranked team like the Kings, but for whatever reason, the Kings seem to have the Hawks number this year, and sometimes that just happens. Remember when the Hawks were making their Stanley Cup runs, when the Hawks were one of the best teams in the conference, they would lose in the regular season against some bottom tier team, some team at the bottom of the standings. I think at the time it was like the Colorado Avalanche. Like the Hawks just couldn't beat them. Like some teams just have your number sometimes. And unfortunately for the Hawks this season, they just can't afford to have a team like the Kings have their number. In the first period, the Hawks had opportunities. I just didn't really take advantage of them. Shot a lot of shots wide of the net. Just didn't really test Campbell a whole lot. Quick not in net for the Kings in this one. Kings going with their backup. And the Hawks just don't really make them work all that much. Now, the Hawks had basically one good opportunity or shot, and it was one that squeaked through Campbell and just barely missed the outside post. And that one came from Kajula in his first game back after missing 6 weeks or so with a concussion. Good to have him back in the lineup. You could see the jump that he brought to the game. I still can't believe we got him for Manning. It's quite unreal. The Kings, on the other hand, had a lot of really good looks in that first period, but Corey Crawford stood tall, made some really, really great saves out there, and this game goes into the second period tied at 0. About a minute and a half into the second period, Alex DeBrincat would get some puck luck and score his 41st goal of the season. Absolutely incredible season he has had. It's also his 69th goal of his career, so that's nice. It's crazy to think that Alex DeBrincat led the Hawks last year with 28 goals. We have 3 players above that this year, and we're still going to miss the playoffs. So the Hawks grab a 1-0 lead early in the second period, and they would actually play a really good rest of the period. They outshot the Kings 14-6 in the second. They just couldn't find a way to get another one past Campbell. And unfortunately, with about 4 minutes left to go in the period, Austin Wagner catches the puck in the neutral zone, catches Dahlstrom flat-footed and at the end of a long shift. And Dahlstrom's not really the fastest skater to begin with, and Wagner just blows right by him and just makes a nice kind of move and chips it over Crawford, and this game is tied going into the third. The Blackhawks would regain the lead 3 minutes into the third period. Offensive zone draw. Kruger wins it back to Keith, who then gets it over to Gustafsson. I mean, they practiced this play. One-timer scenario. Gustafsson just blows it by Campbell from the blue line. His 17th goal of the season. Just absolutely incredible scoring ability from the defensive end. Just essentially elite scoring ability. Gustafsson, I know we talk about him needing to improve defensively, and he's young, and he will, but, there's probably a limit to it, right? There's probably a limit to it, but he's just got such a great offensive upside. Like, I think the ideal scenario is that we're just going to have to find a defenseman that can kind of pick up the defensive slack, because you just can't get rid of that kind of offensive ability from a defenseman. Like, it's just so powerful. It's so It's so useful. So the Hawks have a 2-1 lead, and just like the second period, the Hawks play a really good third period, I thought, controlling play. It seems like they're going to just close this game out. But this is the National Hockey League, and one mistake can kill you. And with a little over 4 minutes left to go in the third period, the Hawks make a defensive mistake. Kings with the puck in the offensive zone. They get the puck below the goal line, and the Hawks, well, they get both defensemen and their centermen below the goal line, which is not a good strategy. The puck comes out through the crease. Corey Crawford actually makes a good play, poke checking it away. Unfortunately, the puck then goes straight to Amadio's stick, and well, he's all alone, and he just blows it by Crawford with a perfectly placed shot. Like, I don't really care what goalie you put in that situation. Nobody's stopping that. Kings tied up 2-2, and this game goes into overtime. Fortunately, we have a decent overtime period. Both teams getting rushes, opportunities, shots, everything you wanted from a 3-on-3 overtime. So I'm not disappointed about that, unlike previous overtime games. Unfortunately, Jonathan Toews takes a penalty with about 30 seconds remaining, and the Hawks having the league's worst penalty kill. You can kind of see where this is going. Drew Doughty, one-timer opportunity, blows it by Crawford, and the Kings win. As I've been kind of saying, I thought the Hawks played a decent game in this one. They certainly earned a point. Unfortunately, special teams was the difference between earning 1 point and 2 points. Hawks 0 for 3 on their power plays. I thought the power plays looked pretty good for the most part. They just couldn't find a way to beat Campbell. I would like them to get more movement still. But they still got chances, clean entries into the zone, which is the biggest thing. So they had offensive zone time and pressure and everything like that on power plays, which you want. It's just kind of the details now, moving around and creating a little bit more space for yourself to get those passes and just get the puck in the net. Kings, on the other hand, go 1 for 3 on their power plays. Their one coming at a pretty crucial moment, being that it was in overtime. So the Hawks have 4 more games left in the season. Jets next, then the Blues, then the Stars, then the Preds. All 4 playoff teams. Hawks not technically out of it, but with that schedule and, well, where they are at in the standings, it's as close as you can be. There's a very, very good chance that you'll be seeing some golf clubs in that corner come Monday. So thank you so much for watching this episode of Hawks Recap. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below on the team's performance, the game, their playoff chances, just anything. Let me know. Like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate that as always. Also, I'll be picking the winner for the giveaway today, technically. Probably more towards Sunday evening. So get in your entries while you still can, but look out for that. Until then, stay safe, make good decisions, and I'll see you next time.